Johnny, I loved watching the film and going back to all of those moments. What was it like for you to sit down and relive so many big times in your life?
It was awesome.
I think it was good to reflect on some of the good days, some of the good times. For me, college football and what I had the opportunity to do there in those 2 years is something that, still to this day means the world to me. And then you can't kind of progress through the story and you get to a little bit more hardships and times and where things aren't going as smoothly. You go from the top to the bottom pretty quickly. But for me, I think it's just an awesome platform to be able to tell my story somewhere that I wanted to. So I'm excited, as a whole.
Watching the film, the thing that stuck out to me was, man, I wish this guy had N.I.L. back then. How things may have played out differently. We might have N.I.L. now because of you. Now, when you look at the college landscape, how do you think the impact of N.I.L. may have changed your story?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think, during my time, it sparked a little bit of a conversation that maybe had something to do with how things ended up panning out today. If I look at NIL now, I think there are guys who are very deserving college athletes who should be able to go out and use their name, their image, their likeness, and build a brand. Because, the way college sports are set up these days, especially in the States, it's it's a huge platform, a huge opportunity, and one that I feel you should be making money off of.
The aspect of your story that they didn't touch on that us here in Canada, I'm sure, wanted to see, was your time in the CFL. Was your time in Canada important chapter in your overall story?
I think Canada was a good thing for me. I think I made some amazing friends. I got an opportunity for me to be able to see that football is not what I wanted to do and not something that I love to continue doing anymore. The feeling that I felt when I walked into the locker room in Cleveland, once I stopped playing for, a year and a half, 2 years before I went to Canada, I'd always kind of felt that, maybe that just wasn't the place for me, that I didn't necessarily work out. And then when I walked back into a locker room again in Canada, I started to feel some of the same feelings in the same way. And for me, that was eye-opening to realize maybe it was just football. Maybe it was football at a professional level that, I didn't love the way that you needed to go out and be successful at the sport.
There is, though, some Canadian representation in the film, and that is your relationship with the boy Drake and one of your goals of getting a lyric by Drake. What was the relationship like back then, and what's the relationship like with Drake now?
That was special. It was special for me because I was a guy who read October's very own .blogspot.com every single day when I would go into a classroom in college. I lived on the SoundCloud for OVO Sound. I was, a huge Drake fan. So, just a really genuine, really kind of random connection that came from an email that blossomed into a friendship. I was buying hoodies off the OVO website. They recognized my name on a mailing order. And then, from there, I took my first spring break in college pretty much to come to Toronto and, met Drake. And it was a friendship that formed very quickly and one that, continued on. Obviously, just with where I'm at in my life, I don't think we get a chance to talk as much as we used to. But, I'll be able to make, a couple tour shows, this go around. And, one that, I will always say changed my life for the better. A person that looked out for me in an unbelievably just a dope way. What a cool way to be able to have somebody like that, be in your corner, be a friend, be able to give you advice, and one that, still lasts even a decade later is really cool.
Well, draft day, though, still a banger.
Still a banger.
Yeah. Draft day, Johnny Manziel. 5 years later, how am I the man still?
In terms of your life now, what keeps you up every day and gets you excited to get up in the morning?
I play a lot of golf. I'm a guy that's on the golf course quite a bit. I get to spend a lot of time. I came to Texas for the summer to spend some time with my family and kind of get back to the Texas roots. But for the most part, I'm in Arizona. I'm playing golf. I'm going to, I'm traveling around in the fall, going to football games, and still trying to live a pretty free, pretty entertaining life. For me, it's kind of hard just to sit and, be behind the scenes all the time. So I'm still bouncing around and trying to, enjoy my life in the way that I know how.
Well, I love that you still have an influence on the game and the culture. Love that you're still living your free life, and love that people are still throwing up the Money Manziel sign. Thank you so much, man. Take care.
I appreciate you, my friend. Much love.